All right, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy, Wavy Cricket, the Silver Surfer of the YouTube gaming streets, and I am back with another video. In today's video, we didn't have no real topic, man. I just wanted to drop another video to let everybody know I'm alive and to let everybody listen to my sexy voice and shit, since exclusivity is a thing. Exclusivity sells, and I guess since we talking about exclusivity, we can segue into one of the first of many topics that I want to talk about. Now, in this video, I'm gonna mostly be going a cappella. It ain't no pre-recorded, pre-scripted shit. If you want pre-scripted shit, you better go on head to Brie Larson's channel. Shout outs to Captain Marvel or whatever her name is. But let's go ahead and we just gonna talk, man. We're just gonna talk in this video. And I'm gonna start it off at exclusivity because I see so many people saying that it's anti-consumer. And it's crazy because you would think that by the times we're in today, motherfuckers would understand the point of fucking exclusives, right? But no, motherfuckers don't understand the point of exclusives, dog. Exclusives basically add value to your console, dog, and they not supposed to be no fucking. They should. It's not even a fuck the consumer thing. Is nigga, if you want to play this game, you have to get our console. And this is the way that it's been since day one. I don't know who you could thank for that. You could probably thank Nintendo for that. But I might be sounding crazy right now, but you might be able to thank Nintendo for that. And honestly, I think exclusives are good for fucking the community or for everybody in general. You want to know why? Because when they take an exclusive and they say, yo, let's take this PS5 with this SSD or whatever the fuck this shit's called that runs fast, right? When you do shit like that, they could break down the console. They could be like, yo, this shit got a RX 480 or whatever the fuck it got in it. It got the Jaguar AMD CPU 6 million teraflops to the squared, nigga. And shit like that, right? Which obviously I'm exaggerating. I'm not a serious motherfucker, but what I am saying is serious and should make sense to you niggas. When they take a console, my nigga, and they make hundreds of thousands of those consoles, millions even. I don't even know. I think PlayStation, last time I saw it, was at like 110 million sold or some shit like that, right? And it's a lot that I'm gonna talk about here, so sit down, my nigga. Grab your popcorn, your soda, whatever you may need, because I'm gonna take up some of your time spitting some facts at y'all, right? So, people say exclusives are anti-consumer. People that say that, they're retarded, my nigga. There's no other way to put it. Obviously it's no other way to put it, because what happens, my nigga, when you spread yourself thin and you want to develop a game and they make ports, they make the games for one system, they target a system to make it for, right? And then they go ahead and make ports for everything else, because it is easier than, oh, we're gonna have to rebuild this game from the ground up just so that we can optimize it. And that's the whole thing about exclusivity. The words exclusivity and optimization, they should be going hand in hand, my nigga. If a game is exclusive, it better be these niggas call it out in these gaming streets, my nigga? A fucking a killer title, my nigga. It better be like it better show what the console's capable of, especially if the console's already been out for 3 or 4 years. Right now with the PS4 and PS5, I think they've been out 7 years, so they've been out kind of long, and I'm glad that fucking the PS5 is around the corner, because these consoles from the get-go, they were subpar from the get-go, my nigga. Like, these shits couldn't hit 1080p 60 at the very least. 1080p 60 they couldn't hit, my nigga. It's games out there that hit them, but as a standard, this console, the PS4 and especially the Xbox One, they weren't able to hit that standard, which is something that these motherfuckers should have gone into this current generation thinking about. Because I don't know, last generation like overstayed its welcome. The PS3 and the Xbox 360, yo, my nigga, I think those consoles were out for damn near 10 years, if not more. But those consoles were definitely here for a good while. Last generation. And it's crazy, my nigga, because I'm starting to see this shit now. When I was like 18, and I'm not starting to see this shit now. It's been like the last 5-6 years, right? But when I was like 18, 19, 16, 17, growing up, my nigga, I never saw nobody really complaining about, oh, I can't play this game on your console. You can't play this game on that. Haha, nobody was on that. It might have been some elementary school shit, my nigga, that was like that. That's some elementary school shit. Which goes to show that some niggas just don't outgrow phases in life, right? Or certain phases in life. When I was little, my nigga, I remember if I had a PlayStation and you had an N64 and you was my boy, my nigga, and you had a game I wanted to play on that 64 over the weekend or whatever, you wanted to borrow the PlayStation, we would just trade for the weekend and shit like that. It ain't always been like this. And honestly, my nigga, exclusives weren't even that poppin'. I don't want to say they weren't even that poppin' back in the day, right? Let me choose my words carefully, because you motherfuckers will try to crucify a nigga out in these streets. So a lot of the games that I used to like playing when I was little were actually the Final Fantasy games, which I'm gonna be having running in the background coincidentally, were some of my favorite games when I was little. You know, the Crash Bandicoots. Crash was an exclusive that we had back in the OG days, the 90s. We had more games. And you know, the thing is that no game was ever perfect. So when I talk about optimization and exclusivity going hand in hand, it's not like there's ever been a perfectly optimized game. I don't think for whatever reason, we're just not capable of that. There's gonna be a 1 where 0 supposed to be somewhere down the line, and there's gonna be some glitch or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a developer. But some of these games are damn near perfect. So, and right now, if you ask me, I can't really give you a fucking example, which is crazier, right? Because I'm talking all this shit, but I can't give you examples of damn near perfect games. I don't know, my nigga. Gaming's just changed, like. Especially if you a YouTube nigga, bro, cause before YouTube I never heard of nobody beefing, my nigga. And this console war, this shit's still going on, even though it ended in 2013 or whenever. This console war ended when fucking Don Matrick, the realest nigga that Microsoft ever employed told niggas to buy a 360, my nigga. That's when we knew shit was fishy. He said if you don't got internet, my nigga, buy a Xbox 360, my nigga. We moving towards the future. We not going towards the past, right? Shout out to Dog Patrick. Definitely a realer nigga than fucking Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer's out here trying to whore out gaming, my nigga. The nigga couldn't even beat. This nigga brought a game back, my nigga. This nigga brought an OG game back. And instead of bringing back something like Jade Empire, this nigga brought back Voodoo Vince. Game that nobody wants to play, my nigga. And that's a game, see, that I would have played when I was little. Or that I would play if they remade it from the ground up like they did Final Fantasy. I don't care if it's the same story, my nigga. You just need to tighten the controls. Gaming has evolved like so much. You need to tighten mechanics, controls. Like last generation contributed a lot towards the, I don't want to say the perfection of gaming, but let's say the evolution of gaming. We got the tight ass shooting controls, the R2 to shoot with the Call of Duties and all of that. Gaming's been mad revolutionized. Cause I remember I probably tried to play Resident Evil 4 in fucking 2017 or some shit. Whenever they re-released it for the PS4 and the current gen consoles, and I had to put that shit down, my nigga. Ain't no way that I was gonna aim with, ain't no way I was gonna aim and walk. If I'm not mistaken, they wanted me to aim and walk with the left analog. I thought they'd at least remake the fucking whatchamacallit, the controls, which again goes to show how lazy developers are. And I don't want to say all developers, but I don't know, my nigga. There was diamonds in the rough back in the days, bro. Like, these niggas don't polish their game. They don't care about quality. They don't try to give it an original look or anything, an original aesthetic, if that's how you pronounce the word. They don't try to do none of that. Like, the PlayStation 4 could have so many beautiful games, my nigga. Like, and right now, one of the most beautiful games on the PS4, I forgot the name of, which I'm gonna try to look up right now. Damn, it's that game where you're dancing as the one. I think it's called Rift, maybe. Is it Rift? No, it's not Rift. It's some stupid game. I'll probably put the name, which is stupid, that I can't think of the name right now. But it's some game where all you literally do is dance as a ballerina, and then there's a pregnant woman that opens the book and the game starts. So you niggas just leave the name in the comment section, because I can't think of it for right now. I got that game, my nigga. I'd probably be 2 or 3 levels of that shit and put it down. I just couldn't play it, but the game is beautiful. It's a beautiful game. I'm not sure why everybody wants to make everything hyper realistic. Like, talking about that, let's get into one of my favorite series of all time, Devil May Cry, my nigga. Devil May Cry became my favorite series because at one point that was the only game that I had for a PlayStation. The first PS2 that I had, bro. My big brother gave me this shit. And for some reason, this shit did not read a disc if it wasn't a blue disc, my nigga. It had to be a blue disc on the back. I don't know if y'all remember back in the PS2 days. A lot of y'all probably too young to even remember this, or y'all weren't even a thought at this point. Not a thought. A thought. There were different colored discs for the PS2. I think I've seen blue ones, the white or silver ones in the back. And I think there might have been black ones. The PS ones were black, like a solid black. But I think it was either black or a yellow disc for PS2, and then that shit read DVDs too. But for some reason, my PS2 would not read a disc if it wasn't blue, bro. So most of the games, the only two games I had at one point that were blue were Devil May Cry and Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and I ended up getting Grand Theft Auto Vice City like later. And yo, that game brings back memories. Like these games can't even recapture that shit because I don't even know if it's the times and the fact that I was young and like all the fun and shit. Because I remember I used to go to my cousin's house because he had Vice City, and we wouldn't even really play the story mode. We were really just getting in cars, shooting at people, robbing shit, doing stupid, silly shit, bro, and just fucking laughing and giggling and having a good time and shit. And honestly, GTA 5 didn't do it for me like that. Like, yeah, it was mechanically, it's a great game, which I gotta give it that, but story-wise, fucking, I think San Andreas was better, but San Andreas was one of the best fucking, where I think it was the best Grand Theft Auto actually, because it even had the RPG elements and everything, where you could get strong, fat, you could take over blocks, you could have the whole fucking what you call it, the whole city under your belt, bruh. Story was good too. Better than fucking 5 in my opinion, with crazy ass Trevor's ass, man. Trevor was just a little bit too over the top. It's just crazy, and that's why I say that I think developers, and it's probably not even the developers' fault. It's probably things they want to add to games that they go into a meeting or some shit. Yo, we and like the executives or the shareholders or whoever the fuck the meetings are with probably tell them, yo, we know that shit would be fun and it would explain this part of the story and it belongs there and everything, but what about if we just take it out and either put it as DLC or we add something else entirely and let's make it look hyper realistic? Like I was gonna talk about Devil May Cry. So my bad about that. If you look at Devil May Cry, the let's take the two latest ones, and you don't even gotta do that. You could take my word for it, man. Devil May Cry has always been like an anime ass like game, where you're overpowered, which is why I think I like and have liked Devil May Cry more than fucking God of War, cause Kratos feels strong after like you progress through half the game and get a whole bunch of everything. Dante's just kicking ass like from the rip. And I'd have to say, my nigga, if Dante and Kratos fought, I don't even want to put money at this point after playing that God of War 18, my nigga, but Dante is still my boy. OG Dante, not this new Dante. Or not even the new Dante. I just don't like the way the character models look, because they went from an anime aesthetic or an anime-like aesthetic to fucking hyper realistic, which made the game look worse, in my opinion. And it's like what they did with Nero too. Nero, and I said this before and I wasn't famous. This was when I first started YouTube. I don't know who I said this to or whatever, what podcast, I don't know where it was. That nigga from Scalebound, when I first seen that nigga, I seen, yo, is that Nero? This nigga got the arm and he got white hair. He didn't have the exact haircut, right? But he had white hair. He had a similar attitude. And I think that's what happened with Scalebound. That shit was a Devil May Cry ripoff. And it's sad what's happened to Devil May Cry, because DMC is what really killed Devil May Cry. But I don't consider that canon, and we're not gonna fucking we're not gonna count that as canon or that is real. We're not gonna give any attention to that at all. When I'm talking about Devil May Cry, I'm talking about Devil May Cry 1s through 5, the last one that came out. And you can not count 2 because 2 was a mess. Like, what the hell? But they should have stuck with the looks, in my opinion. I don't like all this hyper realistic bullshit, because if you add some art and filters and shit over your game and all of that, the game's gonna look better. But it's like niggas don't believe in that shit. All niggas believe in nowadays is, yo, it's is it hyper realistic? Is it Call of Duty? Is it, whoa, is it easy to play, accessible, blah blah blah. But, and it's like even with Nero, with Nero, I don't even agree with them having had taken his arm. If anything, fucking Virgil could have just sucked the energy out of his arm and his arm would have just been useless. And then the chick could have fucking made robotic parts, I guess, to like attach to the outside of it. But this is a whole nother discussion. It's like not really a whole nother discussion, but the thing that I didn't like about Nero's new arm was that they made it a new mechanic, right? And the mechanic was a little bit too arcadey, even though the game is arcadey to an extent. I don't know what type of genre motherfuckers. I consider it action adventure, right? And in action adventure, there's even fantasy and all of that. It's basically a RPG at one point, because you got to learn how to master the character, and it's not mastering the character based off a skill tree, which there are skill trees in Devil May Cry, because you do gotta buy skills and all of that in those, right? But at the end of the day, you need to figure out how to do those combos and add that all together in those type games to really excel, especially at the harder difficulties. Because, well, I said about Kratos that Kratos felt underpowered, but if you play Devil May Cry in hard mode, fucking the game is literally hard. Fucking Devil May Cry, or whatchamacallit, God of War, that game is hard in fucking normal difficulty, which, now that I think about it, and I'm just gonna segue into this because this is my podcast, fucking I just beat that game not too long ago. We can check the trophies and everything, since niggas like to check trophies on the crumb side. I guess I'll just move into that. Check out. Let's check my PlayStation out real. So I'm online right now. Matador and fucking Jack Move Johnny. Shout out to these niggas. And Money Moan is up there too. Shout out to Money Moan. But let's check my trophies out. My trophies for God of War. When did I beat this game? Spread the Ashes. 8-1. The first day of August of this month, or of this year. I'm fucking bugging. I beat this, but at some point I had quit this game because I was like, yo, I'm playing this shit in normal mode, and they had me fighting the insectoids, which I found out recently were dark elves. They had me in a fight with them motherfuckers, and those motherfuckers were literally killing me in 1 or 2 hits. So I put that game down, and I never picked it back up till after I beat The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 was, yo, I want to make a review of that game, but I think I'm going to have to play it again because it's been a while since I beat it, right? There goes a trophy. 7/7/2020. I beat this game, right? But I'm going to beat it again in a harder difficulty and review it probably as I play and capture footage of it and everything so that I can have that on the video. This game was OD, my nigga. Like, yo, this game reminded me of fucking Metal Gear, fucking uh Dead to Rights. Dead to Rights, yo, that game was lit for the PS2, bro. That was one of the game my big brother ended up getting me and my little brother later on for the PS2. Where this nigga, I forgot his name, but he had like a husky or a German Shepherd. I don't remember which one it was. His name was Shadow, though. That dog's name was Shadow. That game was lit, bro. Like, they need to start making games like that again, bro. Like, the boss fights in that game were lit. Especially one where you were in the club or whatever. I don't remember it entirely, bro. Because this game, I must have played this shit. Fucking, let's say I probably played this game like 17 years ago, so I don't remember it clearly, but from what I do remember it, that in that game was lit. And you know what it is? That these motherfucking developers just want to make a bunch of open world games instead of making games where they're linear, but since they're linear, they can add more whatchamacallit, my nigga, like those set scenes where they got a lot of them in Uncharted where the trains fall out and all of that. Those set pieces, shit like that be lit. You just need certain areas, my nigga, where, oh, okay, this is a semi-open world area and there's 3 different branching paths, right, where you can go to them. One of them has loot, another one has probably ammo, and another one has a new legendary type of weapon or skill that you can acquire, and you only, like they kind of do on Tomb Raider, right? Shit like that. But like, it's, I don't know, man, because linear games, I feel like they get to shine more because, like I said, bro, these motherfuckers ain't using their resources rightly, and I'm calling the developers lazy and y'all gonna give me slack for it, but it's probably the niggas above these niggas that are like, nah, nigga, we want this shit to look hyper realistic, nigga. Let's hire this motherfucker. Let's hire Kevin Gates and put him in the next Call of Duty as a soldier, my nigga, and shit like that. Worry about the gameplay later. We could patch everything that doesn't work at first, which is another thing that sucks about the current times that we're in, right? Like, we didn't have day one patches back in the day. Back in the day, my nigga could return a game if it was broken, and if everybody was returning that game, the motherfucking middleman was gonna definitely complain about that and get his money back, because the game, 1, wasn't pushing, and 2, might have been broken or had some game breaking glitch. And it's like a lot of people say, like, you could look at the box of a game before and be like, yo, wow, this game is lit, but I don't know, it probably has to do with the fact that the internet wasn't back there like that, and you can't really trust the box, because like I said, my nigga, it might be some game that was broken that horribly failed and they never even put the patch out for day one for that. Like, look at what happened to Lost Soul Aside. I don't remember what exactly happened to the game, but I think it was received poorly and went bankrupt or some shit, failed or some shit. And the people went out of business. I don't remember the story entirely. It's shit like that going on, man. Then gaming isn't really as enjoyable as it fucking used to be. See if we find something else to show y'all while I'm doing this podcast. But I don't know, gaming's for real has changed, because this game is fucking lit. The Last of Us 2, my nigga, was one of the most hardcore games that I played in my life. Nigga, I got hella headshots. Yo, and I would say one of the biggest flaws of this game is the fact that it's not running at 60 frames. If this shit was running at 60 frames, then let's see, my nigga. I hope that Naughty Dog, y'all niggas take care of us and don't try to fucking rob us for more money. I hope that y'all right now while I'm talking are making a multiplayer that runs at 60 and shit. Probably looks a little bit worse, right? But who cares? And then come the PS5, y'all don't charge us or try to sell us the game again. Y'all just let us play it if we already bought it. Because I would definitely love to play this shit at 60. I guess I should talk about Abby. I think that her arms were probably a little bit too swole. The story I don't understand is The Last of Us, Joe was bound to die. Like, all of these motherfuckers, Ellie's gonna die. A spider might bite her or some shit that don't even got the fucking cordyceps virus. Just a fucking black widow or some type of venomous type of fucking tarantula bites her. She might die. Everybody's destined to die, so. The one thing I did dislike, though, about fucking her killing Joel is that Joel motherfucking just saved you, my nigga. You were just gonna die, Abby. Like, how much rage did you have? Because at that point, too, look at her arms, how swole they are. The motherfuckers can't comprehend that the fact that a woman looks like that, my nigga. That just goes to show that this chick, she had so much rage, my nigga, that she was hitting the bars every day, my nigga. Every day doing exercise, not even trying to burn that out, using that rage to fuel her. That rage fueled her so much that she got jacked. Like, I don't know how niggas can't comprehend that. It's probably because they didn't add stuff like that into the story, but I didn't really dislike Abby as a character. If anything, I think I like her more than Ellie, bro. And you know what? The coolest thing they did, bro, that I actually care about those characters, bro. You want to know how I care about those characters? Because when I fought Ellie as Abby, I didn't want to kill Ellie, right? But I didn't want to get killed as Abby because she definitely killed me a couple times where she just sneaks up on you and kills you in like one hit. And then as Abby, or well, as Ellie at the end, what they should have done, bro, the ending, they should have had 3 endings. One where you kill Abby, the other one where you kill Ellie, and the other one which would have been the real one, which is the one that they do have. Because at the end, I know that there was a lot of people that were probably team fucking Abby, like back in the day with fucking what them vampire movies with the diamond ass, glow in the day ass vampires, where they were team Abby, right? And a lot of other niggas were team Ellie. Or more people were team Ellie because Joel got killed and Joel was the main character in the first game. And it's like, yeah, it sucks that nigga's gone. And honestly, his brother should have taken his place for him. Because how the hell you been Joel for like 35 years, bro? This nigga's been post-apocalyptic Joel not trusting nobody for 35 years. And they just gave up their names like it wasn't... Like shit was sweet, like it wasn't nobody's business who their name were. Like, you think they would be more careful at this part of the game, bro? Or you would have thought that fucking Joel's brother, I forgot his name now, but you would have thought he would have said that he was Joel, and he would have gotten killed in place of Joel, and then Joel would have been the one enraged, like with that demon energy and all of that shit, bro, and one trying to kill that nigga. All of Abby's people got killed. I'm not sure why they had Meg running missions and all of that shit. But yeah, I think the 2 flaws this game had was the fact that it wasn't 60 frames per second, and the other thing is, like I said, they should have let you choose who you wanted to die at the end, or let you choose the real ending. Cause I was definitely struggling, my nigga, when you were killing Abby after Abby was hanging for like 33 days and 34 nights up there. Like, you don't want to kill Abby, especially after you just played as her for 12 hours, bro. There's no way you just want to kill off a character that you just had surviving that whole time. How to survive as. This game is brutal, bro. I think the most brutal scene in this game was when damn, I forgot the name of these other characters, but the girl that's with fucking Abby, the one with no hair, and then her sister or his sister, whatever you want to call, when his sister saves you from the black dude. The black dude's the hardest motherfucker that you've been reading about his ass and everything. And you would think he would have taken it different with Abby and not try to kill her, but this nigga was so stone cold that he tried to kill Abby, and that's when he got shot in the head. And then the sister gets shot like 50 times, my nigga. That's like the most brutal scene in the game, and it's one of the most brutal scenes in gaming that I've seen, period. That's why I'm saying, my nigga, that shit was harder than a Mortal Kombat fatality, my nigga. This game is hardcore, bro. This game is a 9 out of 10. It would have been a perfect game, and it's probably going to be a perfect game for next gen. I can't give it the perfect score because, like I said, if they would have added the multiplayer, that would have made it a 9 automatically too. It would have been like a 9.5 automatically if the multiplayer would have been there at launch. Like I said, I hope they're making it. But this game is like, let me give it an 8 since it don't got the multiplayer, right? It don't got the multiplayer. I'm gonna take another point since at the end they didn't let you choose whether you wanted to let them both live or have somebody die. And I'm gonna take another point, or I'm not really gonna take, I'm gonna take a half a point for each of these for the lack of the 60 frames and for the lack of letting you choose who dies or who lives at the end. This game, I'm gonna still give it like a 8.5, my nigga. This game is what people out here call a banger, bro. This is one of the most hardcore games. And with that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I've been talking for a little bit. I got other topical video ideas that I want to make, so I'm gonna get started working on that. You've been here for so long, my nigga. I should have been told you at the start to like, comment, and subscribe, but go ahead and share this shit too. It's your boy Wavy, and I am gonna be getting out of here.